Just drove up.
Yes, sir.
We purchase.
Purchase, okay.
I think Joe's first.
We'll just read it into the minutes.
All right.
Good morning. We're going to get started on today's Drainage District meeting. Today is March 17th, 2015. It is 9 o'clock. Roll call. We do have Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1. We do have Commissioner Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2, and myself, Precinct 4. The judge is on his way.
One up front.
Do we have anybody signed up for open forum?
Not at this time.
Okay, can we move to the consent agenda?
Any concerns?
Approval of consent agenda. I don't think there's any issues that we have.
None for approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5.
Item 5 is Bond Series 2013, Approval Amendment Number 1 to Local Corporation Agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and Hidalgo County LJ Drain. And item B is approval of closing documents for purchase of certain real property known as LJ Drain, authority for chairman of the board to execute same. Basically, this is part of the LJ ponds that were constructed by the county, and as part of the asset acquisition, the district is purchasing those assets from the county. The amount being $1,326,948.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for item 5A and B. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6.
Item 6B, 2013 Bond Series, request approval to issue manual check payment after review and audit procedure completed on the following items. Application for payment number 2 in the amount $25,115.40 from Texas Cordia Construction LLC related to construction contract number ACDD 1-14-008-0708, Precinct 2, Alamo Expressway Drain, PO number 625452. Everything's in order for the
Move for
issue.
approval.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for item 6. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item 7, it's request approval to advertise for the following. Item 1 will be RFQ number HCDD 1-15-004-0415, Real Estate Appraisal Services Pool. And item 2 would be RFQ number HCDD 1-15-005-0416, Extension of Professional Engineering Services Pool.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of 7-1 and 2. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B would be requesting approval to utilize the district's option to extend service contract number ACDD 1-14-005-0325 hauling services, stone rip wrap, for 1 year under the same rates, terms, and agreements. It's just an extension.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for 7B. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C would be pursuant to Texas Water Code Section 49273I and in interest of expediting a project's progress, requesting authority/approval for the Drainage District General Manager designee to execute change orders that involves an increase or decrease of $50,000 or less. This is brought before you. This is something that the county currently does. When a project is awarded, they actually read this language as a second line item, and all that does is allow for a quicker change order process, something minor, so it doesn't hold up the project. What I want to propose is the same thing. However, what I will do is once the change order is negotiated and issued out, our engineers traditionally do the negotiations, which is present and sign off on it. Once it's done, I'll bring it to the board at the next available meeting, and I can explain to you and answer any questions you may have as to if you do, why we did what we did on the change order and so forth, explain that out to you. But this would just allow the district to be able to issue change orders less than $50,000 on projects to expedite and continue a project moving. Because a lot of times, if we wait the 2 weeks, sometimes, if it's right after this court, let's say I have a change order tomorrow and I need to work on it, I got to wait 2 weeks before the contractor legally should be able to continue working, and we want to have that option available. I know the judge had a concern. I wish he was here. I just wanted to make sure that to put on the record that I will be the only one signing those change orders. I will be the one involved in negotiations through our engineers, obviously, and once I feel comfortable that we are getting what we need, then I would sign that. But I will bring it back to the board at the next meeting, open item, to discuss any questions or concerns they may have on the action that was taken. Here's the judge. So
we have a motion. Judge, you walked in. It's item 7C. Raul had expressed there might be some concern.
It's on the change orders of 50,000.
Oh, yes.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning.
We're discussing right now item 7C, sir, regarding the change order, anything less than $50,000. This just mirrors exactly what the county does on contracts and allows the precinct where the project is located to execute the change orders and then bring it back to Commissioner's Court. And I was proposing the same type of action and authority for myself only, clearly myself, no one else, to negotiate any type of change order through our engineer. Obviously, we have engineers that do the projects. They're the ones that propose the change orders through the contractor, and then I review them and I would negotiate with them if need be on the change order amounts. And if the board grants me that authority, then obviously I will bring it back at the next Commissioner's Court meeting to ratify, so to speak, the actual change order and present it to you and say any questions regarding what I did and any questions you may have as to why I did them. I'll be more than happy to explain them in detail.
All right, sir.
And move for approval.
And they will be on the agenda after that.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 8 is approval of the local cooperation agreement between City of Palmview and Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 for the drainage improvements for La Jolla Road. The district's participation in the amount of $128,133 and 33 cents from its general fund aid to other governments. This is a project that Precinct 3 is working with the City of Palmview, an extension of a drainage system that's going to open up a road there in Precinct 3, and the district is willing to participate with the drainage portion of the project. So,
Move for approval.
Oklahoma.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 9, request approval of budget amendment for the district general fund in the amount of $211,802.71. Monies are for the district's participation through aid to other governments for two interlocal agreements. One is for the one I just read, interlocal agreement with City of Palmview in the amount of $128,133.33 cents for the drainage improvements of La Jolla Road. And item 2 is interlocal agreement with Precinct 2 for the hike and bike trail project. That interlocal is being developed with our legal counsel. We thought we could assist the county through our current interlocal we have on right-of-way services, that we assist the county and vice versa. However, legal counsel has requested that we draw up an interlocal specifically for this project. We're just setting the money in place. We'll bring the interlocal back to you next week after legal counsel prepares and reviews it, and then once it's executed, then we'll be able to assist the precinct on this project. This is a drainage project or a drainage property that we have, so this project ties into our drainage system and right-of-way work that's being done for our drainage system. It's not a roadway system or anything of that nature. It's our drainage system.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10, approval to create one full-time administrative assistant position, slot 16, budget salary $43,500, effective 3/23/2015. I know in the past I've been mentioned to the board about the restructuring of the district, and that is coming soon. I'm going to visit individually with each board member and then collectively. However, right now I have a need for an administrative assistant to assist me in some of the things that we're trying to put together, and this position is being created. When I bring back to the board the whole envelope of how we're going to address administratively and also our field positions. We have 106 positions out in the field, and we have 15 right now currently administratively, and I'm going to bring it back to the board, a whole reconstruction of what we have there re-administratively and the field, but right now I'm asking for this administrative position to help me with some of the issues that I have to address.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, approval of salary schedule and budget amendment to fund salary and fringes for the above-mentioned position.
Motion approved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. Anything under
We
executive
have a real estate acquisition, Judge, if I may. This would be something quick. We do have something.
pursuant to 551-071 and 072. Need a motion to proceed to
Move
executive
for approval.
session.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're going to be in executive session for a short while.
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be on the under purchasing.
Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to the regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today.
Judge, we still
Oh,
have,
I'm sorry. I apologize, getting ahead of myself.
under drainage, we still have a 1 minute
We're
action.
reconvening our open session of the drainage meeting.
Great. Judges, for the record, the first offer that we'll make will be for a 0.52 acre of land tract at a lot 35 Central Valley number 4 subdivision in the amount of $7,346. I'll move forward with that offer.
Move for approval.
And then the second, if I may, just for the record, real quick, the second offer is for $19,0515, and it's for 0.498 acre tract at a lot out of a 7.79 acre tract of land out of the east 10 acres, lot 15, block 44, Alamo Land Insurance Company subdivision. Move forward with the direction of the board.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. At this time, we're going to convene our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, March 17, 2015. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we want to say a good morning to you. Thank you for all your blessings that you give us. Thank you for always being there when we call upon you. We ask you to give us guidance, direction, help us make good decisions. Bless each and every one that's here, and help us always keep in mind that what we do for all the people in the county. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Any concerns with the consent agenda, Mr. Ocasio?
Yes, Judge, I have one only, and that is consent agenda item 8A. If we can pull that for discussion.
Move for approval, pulling out 8A.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the concern with 8A, Judge, is that this approval is for a future expense, so we don't have an invoice and we don't have an affidavit that normally is required when we pay those invoices. So, but I would like to, so we can tell whether there's sufficient fund to pay for that expense. So we would like to recommend no action.
Right, that one, you take care of that one, or who takes care of that one? Membership dues for...
And that is, 8A is requesting approval to pay 2015 membership due to TDCAA for the District Attorney's Office employees with authority for County Treasurer to issue check after review, audit, and procedures are completed by the County Auditor. And again, this is a future expense that we don't know what the costs are because we haven't received an invoice.
What organization is it?
TDCAA.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. The reason we're requesting that item as is because we're following what was previously implemented or established with the prior administration. Basically, we have prosecutors and possibly some staff members that attend trainings or seminars under the TDCAA, and we're asking that this item be approved subject to submitting the affidavits. We get these sporadic throughout the year. So basically, every time that we receive a membership due, we have to submit the appropriate documentation. And so we're asking to see if we can submit the affidavits as we're receiving the membership dues.
That can be done, Mr. Ofrasio, right?
Well, again, like I said, we don't have an invoice, so we don't even know.
Subject to? I mean, those people are out there.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Anybody sign up?
We need to approve the consent.
Yeah, we already did, didn't we? He approved it subject to 8A.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Thank you, Martin. All right, under open forum, the first presenter is Fern McClarity.
Good morning. I'm here today representing the people of Hidalgo County that oppose the creation of another taxing body. With the exception of Commissioner Joe Forrest, every one of you accepted a contribution from private hospitals to support the Healthcare Service District. These contributions are not a minor issue to those you represent. $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 are a big deal to families that live on a $35,000 a year. Why does the county judge need a $25,000 contribution to support a health care district? Our Senator Chuy Hinojosa has over the years accepted $600,000 to push this bill on the people of Hidalgo County. They are struggling to make a living now, and that this tax will make it more difficult. In the paper on the Progress Times, you talk about that $3 million were sent back. The money, if these people were doing well, they could pay their own utility bills, and you wouldn't have to worry about this money. So obviously they're not doing too well if we have to spend millions of dollars to help them. And then I also see that the judge does know says that should not be happening, not in our county like ours, where about 35% of our population is living below low-income guidelines, Garcia said. So, why do I have to remind the Commission that 75-cent increase in property taxes is more than the 59 cents that the county charges now? It would more than double our county taxes. I do not understand the logic of increasing taxes on the poor. Why would the county offer to decrease taxes by 2 cents as an incentive to support a 75-cent increase to support private hospitals? Why in the world would anyone think that was a good idea? The Commission cannot give money to the RMA, so you raise fees and give that to the RMA. The result is that people will be paying for the construction of a bypass or loop that they will have to pay to use. The Commission also passed a resolution advising the Historical Commission that it will destroy the existing courthouse. And then the judge said that he may not use it. But remember, years ago, they already tore down one usable building, and now you regret it. The county spent more money in 2014 than it took in, and then added another $4 million for the new courthouse. The county has not been a good user of public money. You spend more than you take in. So you want the people to think that the health care bill is totally new and that it will be different because of a name change and the fact that the county judge can appoint a member to the board. Who do you think you're kidding? This is the same judge that received $25,000 contribution from the private hospitals to support the bill. So you want the people to trust that the tax will never go above the 25 cents. The answer is never. In a million years will we trust that you will keep your word. We have hundreds of names on a petition that are stating that Hidalgo County has already voted no, and they want to know why their word is not being heard, that y'all are coming back, allowing it, and pushing it possibly to tax them. And like I say, in the paper, y'all are so concerned about their utility bills. How about their food? How about their homes? Y'all go home each night, and y'all don't have to worry about this. But people that are indigent, the people that are on fixed incomes, they do have to worry. Thank you.
Next presenter is Saret Garcia.
Good morning. My name is Saret Garcia. I'm a proudly member of Lupe, since 10 years ago, and I'm here representing the people from the colonias, and I want to let you know that we are here, or we're still waiting for the pilot program for the public light, and we want to be included in the meetings also. And also, I want to let you know that, I want to invite you to the celebration of our main person, that is Cesar Chavez, on March 28th at 9 o'clock. I'm here to invite you and to invite everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next presenter is Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. When Joe died, the law required a document closing this divorce case. That document does not exist. This morning, my remarks are directed at some that do. There is a dividing boundary line between the south 20 acres and the north 20 acres of John H. Sherry, Lot 184. We own the north 20 acres of John H. Sherry, Lot 184. The boundary line will also align with Lots 183 and 185. In this location, following Joe's death, the City of Mission paved a strip of our land, blocked and named it Selena Street. A document titled Contract to Sell Land that I believe to be recently written asserts that an individual renting a house located next to this paved strip from Mildred Billman had an agreement with her to buy open land. At one time, this renter discussed buying the house he was renting. There was never any discussion about his buying land. This renter moved away from the neighborhood without buying anything from her. He did not buy the house and lot, and he did not buy any open land. Another document, I believe to be just written, is redundant. This same renter quit claims a deed to Albert Billman. Neither one of them own any of the land. Then we have a document supposedly written in 1960. In this document, this same renter of the Mildred's house joins the south 20 acres with the north 20 acres of John H. Sherry as the boundary line and sells for $1 to the Hidalgo County Commissioners land from both lots for the purpose of opening and maintaining a public highway. The specific 5.20 acres of land referred to in this document is part of the south John H. Sherry 20 acres, and it is not landlocked. As it is subdivided, streets to ingress and egress and apartment subdivision can be built on their land. Our land is not available for free for the profit of this developer. If he wants one, he can build his public highway on his land. The north 20 acres is private property belonging to the estate of Joe Billman and me. The renter of the house of Mildred Billman cannot sell for $1 our land to county commissioners for a public highway. Another document titled Case number CCD 1473E documents the sale of a strip of our land in 2007 across Lot 184 and 183 from Sherry Road to Glasscock Road by the court to the City of Mission for $280,384. An undivided one-half of this land is my community property. The other undivided one-half belongs to the heirs of the estate of Joe Billman, who is attempting to sell our land and who got the money. Cause number CCD 1473E does not sell
Got about 30 seconds, Ms. Billman.
Thank you. Does not sell any of our land. No one can sell what they do not own. The documents here have no legal standing. Over the years, the frontage of the north 20 acres of John H. Sherry, 5 small residential lots with houses were sold. These were not commercial lots. Commercial buildings, complete with streets and parking lots, have been built in this area, and in the building land owned by us was included in the commercial development. In the state of Texas, if someone builds on land they do not own, they can remove their buildings. But if the buildings remain, the buildings belong to the landowner. I claim these buildings constructed on our land for the estate of Joe Billman and me and notify the trespassers to vacate our land. Joe and I hold valid deeds to this land. It is our undivided community property. Neither of us have sold any of our land. Both the 5th and the 14th Amendments to the Constitution prohibit the takeover of private land. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. All right, item 6A.
Good morning, Judge. Bobby Villarreal with the County Judge's Office. Item 6A is just to give a little update on what happened in the last few weeks with the sheriff and the Judge Garcia had to go up to Austin this past week to testify on House Bill 11, and Commander Rivera and myself went yesterday for Senate Bill 3, which is a similar bill. But essentially it's about the DPS and the border security bill. Right now what they're trying to do is anybody with a peace officer license with 4 years of experience would be eligible to become a trooper with a DPS, and that's a pretty substantial financial gap between us and DPS. So what Judge Garcia and Sheriff Guerra were testifying to was that financial need that we would have. So we'll continue to work on that with appropriations and see what can be done. Other things also that were part of that were some concerns about smuggling. And Senator Lucio yesterday offered some amendments that were approved, and they addressed that issue. Only if it was for financial gain, to do something malicious, to transport illegals, was where it would stand, where we exist today. Before, it looked like if you took your housekeeper from your house and you unknowingly didn't know that they didn't have papers, you could have been held criminally responsible. So that went away on that particular amendment. And as far as another bill that and I'll give you that, and I don't want to get into all the details, but we'll email to you. Commander Rivera from the Sheriff's Office submitted a written testimony for the Sheriff and for the Judge on SB 185, not in favor of that bill. But with that, I'll entertain any questions if you have any, and otherwise go to the next item.
Any questions? That border security bill does have the potential of severely impacting our budget, possibly, depending on what the final outcome is. After when we were there, we were made aware that they're going to be setting aside about $45 million to assist the border counties in their budgetary issues that will result from this border security bill. Now, from that 45, we're the largest county, but we still don't know how much we're going to be getting.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Item 6B, that Marty Salazar will handle that one.
I'm sorry. Item 6B.
6B is requesting a resolution to recommend the creation of a unified procurement code for Texas. I will just quickly read the preface letter from TXPA, which is the Texas Public Purchasing Association. The TXPA is a statewide multi-agency organization for public purchasing professionals in Texas. TXPA members represent cities, counties, schools, colleges, universities, special districts, and state agencies in Texas, with over 500 members representing 300 agencies in Texas, of which Hidalgo County is a member. Our primary goal is continuing education for our members, their agencies, our legislators, contractors, and citizens. We are writing to you to propose a way of increasing the transparency of public procurement in Texas. A Texas Unified Procurement Code would provide standard procurement rules across the state entities and would make us truly open for business. There are at least 16 other states that have preceded Texas in establishing the Unified Procurement Code. The attached white paper, of which is part of your backup today, explains Texas' efforts to date to create the UPC for Texas. We need to document support for this initiative with agencies of all types across the state. TXPA is requesting you to approach your governing body, and as we are doing today, and pass a resolution supporting this effort. A sample resolution is attached, of which we already have one printed. This would greatly affect, there's a lot of confusing legislation that goes across different political subdivisions. This is merely an effort to have the legislature adopt a unified procurement code. It would make it a lot easier. This even includes, and I noticed this morning, I hadn't finished reading the white paper, even the water code, which is under your drainage district. So if you all would entertain and
approve the resolution in support of this effort, I certainly would appreciate it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to be moving on to item 21A. We have some young people here in the audience. This is a resolution in honor of Janice Montemayor for being selected as the 2015 Youth of the Year from the Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh and the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Texas.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Jesse Osuna with Commissioner Joseph Palacios' office. This morning we have the honor of presenting Janice Montemayor with a resolution for her achievements this year, actually last year, as the Youth of the Year. She has proven herself for quite some years at the Boys and Girls Club. In her personal life and through her works and efforts through the club, she's made it a better place, not only for herself, but for the rest of the kids. So with your permission, I'd like to read her resolution. It's a resolution in honor of Janice Montemayor, 2015 Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh and South Texas Youth of the Year. Whereas Janice Montemayor, a persevering individual, is an 18-year-old senior at Robert Vela High School in Edinburgh. She recently was selected as Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh, Rio Grande Valley, representing 8 clubs, and went on to win the South Texas Youth of the Year 2015. And whereas for the South Texas Youth of the Year title, Ms. Montemayor competed with Youth of the Year winners from Corpus Christi, Kingsville, Bandera, Harlingen, Pharr, and McAllen. Among the qualities that helped her capture this coveted title include leadership skills, academic achievements, personal goals, outstanding service to the Boys and Girls Clubs, and dedicated community service to the people of Edinburgh. And whereas the dedication and commitment to improve herself and her community, Ms. Montemayor has devoted her time and energy in the last 6 years to club activities. Throughout her journey as a Boys and Girls Club member, she has had a positive influence on her peers. And whereas Ms. Montemayor has overcome obstacles to achieve her goals, she uses skills learned through employment and experience at the Boys and Girls Club to help her achieve her goals and to assist other club members in their own struggles. She is pursuing a degree in early childhood education and plans to become a voice to those who need guidance. And whereas in the course of her commitment to the Boys and Girls Club, Ms. Montemayor has proven herself to be an essential and valuable member of the community. Perseverance has been a powerful characteristic that represents her core values. And whereas the Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh leadership can attest to her dedication, hard work, and perseverance and enthusiasm, with the help of her club and her complete dedication, Ms. Montemayor has established high expectations for other members to follow. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby supports a resolution in honor of Janice Montemayor as the Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh, Rio Grande Valley, and South Texas 2015 Youth of the Year, dated this 17th day of March 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
At this time, Judge and Commissioner, she would like to give you her speech that she competed with over the span of this last couple of months.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Struggle. Everybody struggles. Fear. Everyone is afraid. I feared. I can't do this. What if I get rejected? Am I going to lose a loved one? These are my fears, and are my fears, or were my fears to this day, and of so many other children. However, my Boys and Girls Club told me that our biggest fear is not the dark, and what builds up in our mind. Our biggest fear is the light, and how powerful it can become. Great futures do start at the club. You want to know how? Here are a few numbers for you. 1, 2, 16, 18, and 0. 18, the number of years my mother was not only a mother to me, but a father. 16, when my whole life changed. 2, the number of times I attempted to commit suicide at the age of 13. 1 memory I have of my father ever being at home. And 0. Now 0 is the number of times the Boys and Girls Club allowed me to give up on myself. I am not a statistic. I am far from it because of the club. The club prevented me from being a dropout, using drugs, or ending up pregnant. You see, the club did not only change me, it created me. It created who I am, who I will be. This is my story, and I want to share my story with as many kids as possible to let them know that it doesn't matter who you are, or where you've been, you can do all things. After accomplishing my goals, I want to be a motivational speaker to our club kids to let them know that if you don't know what your purpose is, I want to be the one to help you find it. Now, I don't plan on none of this being easy. I plan on facing many obstacles, but I will face those obstacles head on and still come out a champion. I'm here today to tell you that great moments are born from great opportunities, and the Boys and Girls Club of Edinburgh is my great opportunity. Thank you.
Good morning. Michael Leo, County Judge's Office. 6C, discussion, consideration, and approval of the Advancing Career Education Initiative, otherwise known as ACE, under the Hidalgo County Literacy Program, as authorized under Section 3D1.004B6 of the Texas Local Government Code. 2 weeks ago at our meeting on March 3rd, the court approved and adopted the Hidalgo County Literacy Program. It's a new county initiative program authorized under Section 381 of the Local Government Code. The code allows us to establish programs like these to stimulate business and commercial activity in a county for local and economic development. One way to do this is to support comprehensive literacy programs for the benefit of county residents. When the court approved our county literacy program, we explained that we would be bringing back initiatives under this program before the court. This ACE initiative is the first. ACE is designed to develop comprehensive literacy programs with a focus on demand occupations and the allied health care industry. This program benefits with barriers to employment in an effort to help them achieve long-term self-sufficiency. The program also contemplates the county exercising its authority under Section 381 to contract with another entity for the administration of this program. There is a subsequent item under purchasing where the court can give us direction on that matter, but right now what we're asking for is approval on this ACE initiative under our county literacy program.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 6D.
Yes, sir. Approval of the order and interlocal agreement by and among City of McAllen, Hidalgo County, and the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 1, City of McAllen, Texas, allowing for Hidalgo County to participate in the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone. I talked to Steve a moment ago. If we can seek approval pending legal review. Correct, Steve? Steve?
Correct.
Okay.
Judge, the final agreement and the exhibits were not attached for review.
I think they've already been traded back and forth, and I think
what is the legal issue, Steve?
Legal had it.
There are a number of issues as far as certain documents we have yet to receive as backup documents to the interlocal.
Yeah.
It wasn't very substantive. Correct, Steve?
So you feel comfortable approving it subject to
legal?
Subject to.
Move for approval. Subject to legal.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Virginia, did you want to comment?
I probably am not the only one who gets confused about the TERS, but I remember way back when it first was started. Is it still the same? Are the rules still the same? Does it have to be in a blighted area? That's how it started. Does it have to employ X amount of people or promise to? There were so many things added to what it did to qualify for TERS, and I don't know if that still is or if it's changed.
I don't believe that it's ever been a requirement that it be in a blighted area. I mean, the very first one was the city of Mission that Pat came in and
I
talked to us
remember
about.
that.
And what we're trying to do is trying to encourage investment within the county, future growth and development, and trying to participate with the cities to see if we can accomplish that.
Look at New York.
Yeah, they're doing it all over.
So,
I think there's some language to that effect, Judge, in the law, but there's some exceptions.
Bobby, can you explain the parameters?
In particular, on this one, this is in Precinct 4, and so essentially this was outside the city limits. So with McAllen, the infrastructure to get out there was going to be too costly for them or the developer. So in an effort similar to the Trenton shops, was in an effort to get the infrastructure out there to facilitate the growth and need. Essentially, it was going to take all the services off the county, off the precinct, off the commissioner for drainage, water, police, all that. So essentially, McAllen was going to annex it if we participated, and that's how it was a win-win for us to have that area not be half-acre subdivisions, but a very nice subdivision with higher tax base going forward.
Right.
Maybe the developer's consultant can explain it.
Yeah, Mr. Earl is in the audience.
David Earl's here if you want to.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, ma'am? Good to see you again. Commissioners, Judge, David Earl, I represent the developer. And the citizen raises a good question. Does it have to be in a blighted area? The answer is no. The law clearly says under Chapter 311 of the Tax Code that the area, upon petition of the developer, can either be blighted, undeveloped, or underdeveloped, or predominantly open. As you all know, this land has been historically open, and the trend of the county in development would have this be developed in a what they call a rural subdivision. And as Bobby points out to you, this is a paradigm shift in development. Instead of putting a few $1 million on the ground in tax base and actually no real jobs other than construction jobs, because you're participating in this project, there'll be approximately $2.5 billion worth of tax base added to Hidalgo County. And the developer will be spending $258 million in infrastructure investing in Hidalgo County. And it will create well over 8,000 jobs. And so that's the kind of power the tax reinvestment zone brings to the table that y'all have decided to participate today in. And I tell you, on behalf of the developer, we're very grateful for the partnership that you've forged between McAllen, the developer, and Hidalgo County. And I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Are there any questions? If not, entertain a motion to approve item 6D1.
So moved. Subject to legal.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Was that D1, Judge?
Yes.
I think that's the one that was approved subject to
Subject
final
to legal,
review?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and item 6D2 is appointment of a board member to the County of Hidalgo on the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 1, City of McAllen Board of Directors. In a previous meeting, we had done this, and I think it was pointed out that we hadn't gotten into the interlocal yet, so they had put me tentatively. I think Judge Garcia, you wanted to be the member and put me as an alternative.
We had earlier appointed Bobby, and I told Bobby that I wanted to be considered, and that he could be the alternate in the event I couldn't make that meeting.
Move for approval for Judge to be the
Second.
appointee.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sir. Item 7, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. There's no action under item 7A, 1 and 2 unless there's action to be taken down the agenda. 7B, we do have a presentation from Mr. Palacios. Or Joe. Oh, okay. I apologize, Judge, Commissioners. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks. We're at roughly, or right at 87% completion. We're near completion of the renovation. I'll let Mr. Palacios continue.
Good morning, County Commissioners, County Judge.
Good morning.
Community. My name is Alex Palacios, representing Prodigy Construction Management. On behalf of the renovations, first and second floor, I know you have a long agenda, so I'll be as brief as possible. As you know, the current project, this observation report, the project date was October 23rd with a completion date of April 17th. This date is important because in January of 2015, collaboratively with the architects Ed Alcocer and Wilson Construction representative Manuel Ornelas, we further defined the April 17th, 2015 completion date. So far, so good. We haven't deviated from that. The monies that are still pending with the project, with regards to application number 16, in the amount of $114,000, we still retain $635,000 within the fund of the project. This, with some minor modifications to the district attorney's area offices, we are still sticking. The contractor is still certain that we will be within the April 17th, 2015 date. And if it were to shift somewhat, he's assured that he would need maybe a week or two, plus or minus, no more than that.
The 17th April.
These are photos of the current status of the project. On the left-hand side, you see the hallway that enters into the executive session of the Commissioner's Court. The picture to the right is the back scene of the Commissioner's Court looking at forward. Everything is pretty much in place, the ceiling tiles installed. This is the general area workspace of the district attorney. The tiled floor, the walls are completed, the ceilings, the lighting, some minor details that need to be ironed out. The picture on the right, an entry receptionist of the north lobby. That door there is the entrance to the Commissioner's Courtroom on the first floor on the north end. The main entry lobbyway from the courthouse on the right is a string of offices where the district attorney's employees and staff, as you can see, it's a long, lengthy hallway with a string of offices. This is the open work area, again in the general area for the district attorney's space, cubicles, administrative staff, clerical. Picture on the right is another hallway. I'm not certain of the department that will be occupying this area, but again, these are long, narrow offices with a string of administrative staff. The county judge's work area, administrative staff, clerical. As you can see, it is also coming to a head. The floors are installed, water, the ceilings, the lights, etc. The county judge's conference room also. If you see those plastics on the lights, those are just to protect the lenses of the electrical, but those would be removed once the project is close to completion. The overlooking the concourse, the lobby, the walkway, and the elevator area that most of the people have been accustomed to seeing an ugly entry construction site. It's now coming to a head. It's taking shape and form, painting, floor completion, etc. A sample of the timeline sheet. We're currently on schedule. The contractor seems to be performing well and aggressively. Again, with the minor changes to the DA's office, we're still targeting the April 17th, 2015 date. Any questions, Commissioners? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I know that Mr. Villarreal, Paul Villarreal, is in the audience, and keeping with our policy of addressing those items involving our elected officials towards the top of our agenda. Paul, what number are you here on?
It's 9A, Judge. 9A.
9A, Judge.
Ms. Cortez, if I may, Mr. Silguero. 9A, the tax assessor collector has turned in his special inventory fund budget that he's presenting to Commissioner's Court. There is a request for a waiver of the budget amendment policy with respect to the related amendments. Ms. Cortez, Mr. Silguero, in essence, he is asking, through his request to the court, supplements to Chief Deputy 2, Manager Tax Collection Section, Manager Motor Vehicle License Section, Manager Tax Section as well, Account Specialist, Accountant 4, Accountant 3, Internal Auditor 3, Chief Investigator or Chief Fraud Investigator. He's asking for supplements in the Special Inventory Fund, 5,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, and 3,000 respectively on those titles that I just read out.
There is no impact to the general fund.
There is no impact to the general fund. This is under the auspices of the tax assessor collector, and again, this is what he is presenting. This is the budget that he is presenting to Commissioner's Court at this time.
Where does the money come from, Paul?
I'm sorry, Mr. Villar. Yes.
Yeah. We have this the special inventory fund, and that's the sole purpose of the tax assessor to use.
Well, where does the money come from for that?
Oh, okay, yes. Well, the dealers are the ones that bring in the monies into our office. So we create an escrow account. So the monies that we get is from the interest that we make out of that.
Why do they bring them in? Are we selling something or?
No. We have to. We have the special inventory fund is for the motor vehicle. We have the program where we have to take the aggregate tax rate for every entity in the county, which is 44 of them. So since they're dealers, they have to bring the declaration of the sales to our office. We put them into our system, and then we keep that escrow throughout the year. More or less sometime in February 10th or so, we post the escrow amounts into our system, and then we disperse those funds to all the entities in the county. So the interest that we make is for the use of the tax assessors.
Part of that goes to the general fund, and then part of it goes to you?
No, that's no general fund. No general fund. Nothing. It's strictly separate. It's a separate account.
But that money would go into the general fund, but for you using it.
Well, that's a special account.
Judge, I have a concern in this item, but I don't know.
I think the auditor has
hold on.
Okay.
What?
I have a concern on this item, and let me explain a little bit about this special inventory tax. Those taxes are prepaid by dealers, like Paul was saying earlier. They place it into an escrow account, and this money is invested throughout the year, earns interest. Also, individuals that do not file those reports timely are assessed a fine and a penalty. The fine goes into the general fund. The penalty is placed in an account that is under the auspices of the tax office, and those monies can be used to defray costs associated with administering this program. And the fine and the penalties were not being assessed in the past. The tax office started assessing those last year around October or so. So those monies were being placed in an account, and it's accumulated funds. And my concern is that now the tax office wants to give pay raises to individuals, and those salaries for those individuals were approved by Commissioner's Court last year, and they're being paid out of the general fund. So now he's saying that the special revenue fund should offset those costs.
Mr. Ocasio, I've got a question for you. All these years, this is not the first year this happens. What's been happening with that money for the last several years?
Well, like I said, he collects in advance and he puts into an escrow, and the interest is earned and is being accumulated. And the interest has never been used throughout this years. It's just accumulating. The penalty and interest, the fine goes into the general fund. That's always been happening all these years. The penalty that started being assessed last year is placed into this fund. For 6 months, we have penalties accumulated, and we have interest accumulated for years and years.
How much money is there?
Let me go ahead and explain it myself, okay, since I'm the tax assessor collector, okay?
Tell me how much money is in that fund?
Right now, I'm not sure how much we have at this point, but about 75,000 or more. Yeah. But let me just tell you a little bit about what we do. And the defraying the cost of the program, it's working. That's not the problem. I implemented a new program October the 1st. So the tax office implemented the enforcement of collections of fines and penalties under Section 23.1.22 MNN of the Texas Property Tax Code. So that's going to go ahead and have additional duties and workload for my office, but I'm willing to do it because it's going to generate fines for the general fund. It's going to generate a $100 fine and also penalties for the special inventory fund. Let me just tell you that this section is provided to enforce the fines and penalties of account holders who fail to file a sales statement and commit an offense that is classified as a misdemeanor A, punishable by a fine and or additional penalties. All fines are generated are additional revenues for the general fund. All penalties are additional revenues for the special inventory fund. The new implementation of enforcement and collections have been assigned to personnel with additional duties and additional workload. That's why I'm trying to...
Well, what was it used before?
Before, it was not enforced. Now that it's my new administration, I'm creating this new program.
So is it something new?
Yes. They're going to be auditing of sales. They're going to be enforcing fines and penalties. They're going to collect fines and penalties. Data programming, accounting, specialized reports, certification of monthly salaries, sales, fraud investigations and compliance, overseeing and managing the program. So it's additional workload. So since those monies are the the purpose of the tax assessor to use, I want to go ahead and have these people administer this program. As far as the difference of the cost of the program, that's working fine, and I agree with Mr. Horacio. But this is your additional work that I'm going to go ahead and bring in more money to the general fund.
Mr. Villarreal, by additional work, you mean this is additional duties?
Definitely. Now we're going to have to enforce it. We're going to have to either go out and go out to the dealers and make sure that they comply with it. And of course, it creates more work, additional reports and collections.
The bottom line is you're using it for pay raises.
Well, pretty much what I'm doing is I'm using some of the funds that I have because they're going to have additional workload. In order to bring in some more, I have to, at least allow these people to have a little bit more to work with, and so we can go ahead and enforce it.
Our district clerk has about 1.3 million in a special fund.
There you go. And
we can't allow her, for example, to go and use it to give pay raises simply because it's not going to affect our present fund balance.
It's not really a pay raise. It's more of the funds that I have there just to go ahead and they can administer this program. They're going to do additional workload.
Paul, will this money last or will it run out?
Yes, yeah. Well, if it runs in the future, then we stop. But for right now, this is what I want to do with these funds.
Judge, and that's one of the concerns that I have, Judge, is that if this money lapses or runs out, the general fund is going to have to pay for this pay raises.
No, it stops.
That was where we were going to suggest, Judge Commissioners. The fund earns, on average, about $25,000 a year interest and penalties that go to the assessor. By law, he can use that money to supplement the salaries of the employees who are performing this work. Our suggestion is it's legitimate, he can do it, but that we have that you approve if you approve this item, that it be subject to funds being available in this program for that, so that when the money runs out, that those supplements go away.
The only concern I have is if you look at the JP courts, you got another issue. We can open up Pandora's box here with the district clerk. So this is specifically why we try to adhere a lot of these things through the budget cycle. So now we're taking individual special funds and making consideration through the middle of the year, which makes it a little more difficult when we should objectively be looking at this through the budget cycle. It's not that I'm against the request. If they're doing some new duty, it's additional work. Of course, there has to be some consideration to compensation. But these are some of the things we try to avoid, is hearing some of these things in the middle of the year. If we were collecting the fee last year, then why didn't it go through the budget cycle? We're trying to centralize everything so that this court can make an adequate decision throughout the budget cycle. So
I'd like to see if Josie and Victor can assist me on that.
Sure. Judge, Commissioners, Mr. Villarreal had asked the DA for a legal opinion on this issue under the prior administration. The DA has not issued an opinion in writing, a formal opinion. However, he did ask us to review in preparing for this presentation today, his item on the agenda. We reviewed the statute. We reviewed the 3 Attorney General opinions that interpret the statute. He is authorized to use the funds without the control of Commissioner's Court. So in using them in this way, there is a specific opinion that allows the tax assessor to use the funds to supplement the salaries of his employees if he sees that it is going to be used in furtherance of this program. And he has to make that determination. And
does the statute require that he present it to the court and that we go along with it?
It does not, Your Honor.
If it doesn't, then what is he doing here? Why don't you just go ahead and do it? And
that's correct, Judge.
Why do we have to act on it? Because if we have to act on it, we got to consider all of the employees. We haven't given pay raises in 4 years, and to allow you to go ahead and use some money simply because they're there to give pay raises for your department, I just don't think it's right. I think that we're all in this together.
Judge, I think that the reason that it's presented to the governing body is because all salaries are presented to the governing body regardless of where the funding comes from. The district attorney's office has also funds that they have discretion to spend. However, they bring before this body the salaries for all of their employees, whether they're funded from general fund or not. And same thing that's what Mr. Villarreal is doing. He's bringing this item before you because you're the one that has authority to set the salaries for county employees. And these are county employees that we're paying for.
So, Judge, one of the Attorney General opinions actually looks at the Commissioner's Court's authority in setting the salaries and looks at the constitutional issues that have been raised about whether or not he can do this. Permissibly, he can. If there are any questions as to how he is using this money, then that has to be challenged in a court of law. So if the auditor has concerns, that's the forum or the mechanism as to how it can be challenged. Now, the AG is very clear in noting that the checks and balances on this is that the auditor is allowed to conduct an audit and present those findings to the Commissioner's Court. So if there is ever a concern as to how the monies are being spent, Mr. Eufrasio can conduct his audit and advise you of his findings.
Judge, if I may interrupt, could we move this item farther down the agenda to give me a chance to discuss this with the tax assessor collector and the DA?
For another meeting? Or
no, just farther down this agenda.
For when?
Further down this agenda.
Oh, today?
Today.
All right. Paul, do you mind waiting?
No, not at all. No. We appreciate Mr. Crane here. We have the other items that we can go forward.
About 89 grand. 30 and 30 and 29. Okay.
Mr. Villarreal, we're also involved in accounting for these funds. So can we utilize some of these funds for pay raises in our office?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can accommodate you, Mr. Eufrasio. No, we're just going to stick to what the law says.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll come back to this item.
There's another item, it's 983, also for the tax office, and it relates to the scofflaw program. The tax assessor is requesting the creation of 2 scofflaw deputy clerk 1 positions at a salary of $30,000. All the personnel procedures have been completed. The only issue here is the funding. We're not sure if funding is in place. We had checked with the budget office prior to today, and apparently no funding has been appropriated for this, so that is the only issue that remains, and I think Sergio's coming to address that.
And also the approval of the revised
So on these 2 items, it is going to come from the general fund, right?
I'm sorry?
No, sir.
No?
This would come from the fees that are charged to under the scofflaw program.
This to create 2 new positions.
Yeah, that funding is there. They're collecting a scofflaw fee, and we set that aside, and the money is there available. See, this is the way that I think the other one should be done. If he needs staffing in order to administer a program, they hire people and
so this
they can
is
help
okay
you.
with you then?
Yeah, this one is okay. Yeah, this is the way the other one should be done. Exactly like this.
Second.
Unless you have an issue.
Basically, I just wanted to advise the court if this was approved, then we would appropriate the funds, the scofflaw funds, in a future Commissioner's Court agenda. We would just need to bring that action back to court.
And 4 and 5 relate to 3, correct?
Yes, sir.
So your motion, Joe, will include 3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
Those in favor, say aye. 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 Motion carries.
We have another item under the tax office requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy, personnel-related amendments. Discussion and approval. Oh, I'm sorry. And consideration of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period, 3/23/15. Delete slot 20, Deputy Clerk 3 at $40,347, and remove the auto allowance of $1,500. Delete slot 35, Deputy Clerk 2, $35,651. Delete slot 123, remove the auto allowance at $1,500. Delete slot 127, Deputy Clerk 1, $26,924. Delete slot 137, Accountant 1 at $32,769. Add auto allowance to slot 168 of $1,500. Add auto allowance to slot 169, Executive Assistant 2, $1,500. And create slot 172, Deputy Clerk 2 at $30,000. Create slot 173, Deputy Clerk 2, $30,000. Create slot 174, Deputy Clerk 2, $30,000. And create, it says create, add auto allowance to slot 175, Budget Clerk 2 at $1,500. Create slot 176, Data entry clerk 2 at $20,235. Create slot 177, data entry clerk 2, $20,235. And approval to revise salary schedule in accordance with Commissioners Court action.
Does this all balance out?
No budget impact.
No budget impact.
No,
For
we-
approval?
Judge, the only comment that we have on this item is on number 2, they're requesting approval of the revised salary schedule, but 1 was not attached.
Let me answer that. Judge, I think the Budget Office had indicated to us that the salary schedule will be revised upon the approval, so we're asking for approval to revise the salary schedule if the item is approved.
So approval subject to?
Yes.
Subject to.
Salary, yeah.
Providing that,
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Judge, I think the other item I have is 12A, if I may, please go to that.
What other item, sir?
It's 12A. Okay, thank you. On that one, I'm just here for approval for the interlocal agreement contract with Toyota Afar and the new Hyundai Afar. We met with Mr. Crane, and he gave us his blessings to the changes that were made on that contract, so pretty much we're
Everything's
here.
in order, Mr. Crane?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Are you going to be opening it up for all the dealers and?
The web dealer, yes, definitely, for all the dealers, because right now we'll have dealers that come and bring 200 to 300 stacks of titles. So through the electronic submission, it's going to be easier for where you can automatically put them on your system and send them electronically to us so we can work on them faster.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. If I may go back to
90 seconds.
All right, sir.
Item 7C. Judge Commissioners, item 7C, discussion, consideration, and all appropriate action to appoint an interim executive director for the Community Service Agency to serve until such time as a permanent executive director is appointed. Judge Commissioners, as you're well aware, our executive director for the Community Service Agency retired last week. And so there is an urgent need at this point, or at this time, to appoint an interim executive officer. And the reason interim executive officer is the agency also has a corresponding board that, at least on the surface from what I read on the bylaws, does have a place in the process for the hiring of the next community service agency. But for the purposes of the agency running, we do need someone in there to bridge the gap for appropriate signature for payroll, for reporting purposes to the state, as well as for someone to be over there to give direction to that agency, as well as administer the program for the services that they're providing. I have asked the county auditor to perform a financial audit. There was a discussion last week, I believe, that Mr. Eufrasio had what I call an exit financial discussion with Maribel Navarro, so that he could get a better understanding of the processes that are in place over there, so that Mr. Eufrasio and his staff can do what they need to do with respect to that audit. Mr. Eufrasio, I don't know if you want to add anything with respect to the financial audit.
I was just going to ask on the interim executive director appointment, does the advisory board require, do they have to approve before you appoint someone?
No, sir. I don't see anything in the bylaws that say that they would concur or not concur with an interim. Again, the key is interim. This is not the permanent, and so the advisory board will have a place in that process.
But since they deal with money, would they have to have a bond or something?
No, we have our regular, I say regular, we do have an insurance that would cover any type of an employee action with respect to finances through our insurances.
Mr. Guerrero, the only thing that I wanted to add is that I had been told that we're not supposed to audit financial funding from the federal government. So what I had done in the past, I have requested the Commissioner's Court to petition that I do that. We started already assisting in this endeavor. However, I would like to have some formal request approval by the
Okay,
Commissioner's Court.
then I will have the appropriate, I'll have appropriate language acknowledging what I had requested of your office last week from the Commissioner's Court. But again, the court, for lack of using the right phrasing, is the grant recipient of these funds and therefore are subject to our normal processes. And again, as I stated last week, I do believe this is well within what I asked is well within our processes for the financial audit of that agency at this point.
Well, I agree. However, I think the court had asked me in the past, but I have never been able to audit the other agencies, WIC, CSA, Head Start, and Urban County.
I'll address those as we go along. But again, I do want to state one thing for the record, that this is the protocol whenever you have a change in a director or you have a change in administrations. There is always an audit conducted by your office as well as an asset audit in conjunction with the purchasing department. And so again, we are keeping with the processes that the county has in place.
Judge, do you have somebody in mind?
Yes. I wanted to, however, state that the need, in talking about the need, as you all know, the number one person, Ms. Navarro, resigned effective last Friday, and Ms. Vasquez, the number two person, did the same. And this morning we were advised that the number three person has also tendered letters of resignation effective immediately. So it becomes important that we go ahead and appoint someone. And I know that Jaime Longoria from my office has been working out there trying to evaluate what is going on, and he's got the experience, and we think it'll take us about 30 days to hire a permanent director.
Are you fine with that?
Judge, why don't you just move him over there?
Yeah. Well,
you want to appoint Jaime Longoria?
Jaime Longoria. I'll make a motion for that.
Second.
For interim director, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Judge, item D is approval to accept the settlement check from Pronto General Agency in the amount of $110.94. This will settle a county property damage claim with one of our departments.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item E, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement check from State Farm Insurance Company in the amount of $2,097.62. This will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement check from Empower Insurance Company in the amount of $448.40. This will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Motion approved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item G, I'm asking acceptance of a settlement. It's in the form of a money order from Mr. Ruben Gonzalez in the amount of $400, and this will settle an auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item H1, I'm asking approval to accept the settlement offer from Apollo Managing General Agency in the amount of $8,855. This will settle a total loss auto accident claim with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, I'm asking the court to authorize me as your executive officer to sign property damage release and power of attorney forms and any documents for title purposes to settle the total loss auto claim with Apollo Managing General Agency.
Approved.
Second.
Those
Judge,
in
a
favor.
quick comment?
Sir?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, yes.
I just want to see, can we put all these items on consent? I mean, why don't we put them on consent?
Commissioner, the reason I don't put these under consent is because these are official claims that we have with them or they have with us, and it's just been a practice of the court for purposes of discussion, if there's any discussion to be had. Anything we put under consent agenda, if there's a question, you have to take action to take it out, take action on the consent agenda, the balance of the items, and then go back to that particular item. But let me revisit my process, and let me see if I can come up with a more efficient way of dealing with these.
Thank you.
All right, those in favor of the motion as made and seconded indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Mr. Guerra, are these settlement amounts sufficient to cover the damage that were incurred by the county?
Everything is taken into consideration with respect to the vehicle, depreciation, age, so forth and so on. We consult with legal counsel as well, and we also consult with our insurance carriers with respect to these types of settlements. So yes, they're well within. They're well within.
So the answer is yes, I would say?
Yes, they're well within. Judge, Commissioners, I did want to make one comment, and also for the general public, our constituency. I know that when we have our Commissioners Court, we all see the claims against the county, and then there's some form of action in settlement of those claims. Well, these settlements with the County of Hidalgo are the efforts on our part to settle the damages that are incurred on our end. These are the subrogation efforts that we take in working with our legal counsel and our departments in order to recoup the loss for Hidalgo County, so that we can continue. We place these monies back into our account, and these are the same monies that are appropriate and used to replenish the deficiencies as a result of these accidents. Again, I know that there's a lot of attention given to the claims with the county, but again, these are these types of processes that we go through. These are our efforts to address the claims that impact us and the monies that we recoup to lessen the burden on our constituency. Thank you.
All right, sir. Item 8.
Constable Precinct 1.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Sergeant Raul Lozano on behalf of Constable Celestino Avila Jr. Item 8A, number 1, authorization and approval to apply for the 2015 Memorial Day ticket grant funded by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Move for approval.
Second.
As to 1 and 2, authorizing the judge to sign. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8B, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the County Auditor for the 2015 LEOs, the Peace Officer Allocation Funds Award received from the Texas Comptroller Public Accounts Office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item number 2, approval of the 2015 appropriation of funds for the Constable Precinct 1 LEOs 1220 account in the amount of $1416.38.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, item 9, we go back to item 9, and at this point we're going to go to item 9C.
Steve's not here. He wanted to address it.
No, 9C. We do have some other.
9C.
And I'm going to ask Mr. Silguero and.
Well, Esther is going to present, but I just had a question on the appointment. Will Mr. Longoria remain a county employee and is just their assistant temporarily, Judge?
That's correct. He's still same salary, same benefits.
But I mean, he's a county employee. He stays in your office.
He's a county employee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Ms. Cortez, if I may, I know that you and I had a discussion with respect to the courts, but I know that you were out on taking care of some personal business. Judge, Commissioners, for the 92nd, I've been working with the 92nd District Court to try and, I guess, rectify something that occurred or didn't occur at the beginning of the year. And so there is a salary adjustment decrease on a position that's currently budgeted at $76,249. The new proposed salary is $66,000, so that is a decrease. This is for the court coordinator position. All appropriate documentation has been gathered from that office and provided to the HR department, to Ms. Cortez's office. So if we could take action on the reduction.
They're all three.
Right, all three. Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. There's a reduction.
It balances out, right?
It balances out. There's a reduction. Then there is an adjustment decrease also on the bailiff position from $52,207 to $49,381. And then there's an adjustment increase to the assistant court coordinator from $48,925 to $62,000. The intent, this was the intent as of January 1st when the new district judge took office. Unfortunately, there was, for whatever reason, this was not accomplished. So it's taken us, quite frankly, it's taken us this long to try and understand and rectify the situation.
Excuse me, but are all court coordinators about the same size?
Yes.
Oh, this one here?
Yes.
Will it balance out with all of them?
Yes, they're at the same, they're at this level.
All right, move for approval then.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, that would have included approval of the revised salary schedule in accordance with, okay, thank you. Item 3. I'm sorry, now Esther, item D, the Sheriff's Office.
Is it the 92nd, Judge?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
92nd, yes.
Because I think that one we had the same thing, the revised salary schedule, so I guess subject to?
Yes, we'll provide that to you.
Yes, subject to that.
Under the Sheriff's Department, requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy, personnel-related amendments. Discussion, approval, and consideration of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period, 3/23/15. To delete slot 398, Community Service Specialist at $31,404, and to create slot 424, a Plumber 1 at $32,928. And item 3 would be the approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with Commissioners Court action.
Move for approval on 1, 2,
Judge,
3.
a couple of comments on this item, I'm sorry. Funding has not been identified for 9D. Are we on 9D?
David, yes, D.S. and
Okay.
David.
Yeah, funding has not been identified, and also we have the issue with the revised salary schedule not being attached.
And if I may, it's, again.
I'm sorry, I've got to put it for the record.
No.
That's all. The salary schedule will be, submitted after Commissioners Court approval.
I know
Now,
that,
the
but I think-
funding, I'll let Mr. Cruz.
No, and I appreciate.
I got to state for the record.
I know, Mr. Vanessa.
But you will,
and I'll state
move the money.
and I'll state for the record. Again, I've used the analogy of the cart before the horse. Again, upon Commissioners Court approval, then the funding will be addressed, because it would be presumptuous on our part to address the funding prior to any type of action taken by this governing body. So, again, if action is positive, we'll address the funding.
We have a motion and a second to approve 1, 2, and 3. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item E, DA Criminal, DA Investigation HB 65, requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy, personnel-related amendments. Approval, discussion, approval, and consideration of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period, 3/23/15. Salary adjustment to slot 52 and 33, accountants 4. Proposed salary is $46,322 and $66,678.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
1, 2, and 3.
Aye, motion carries.
So for the DA, it's
And
the
then
same
the
thing.
salary
The salary
adjustment?
schedule will be provided at a later date.
Okay, and item F, if I may, Ms. Cortez, because I've been working very closely with the precinct on this item, I'm asking for court to take action with respect to the change in the funding source from Precinct 2 Administration and Road and Bridge Maintenance to Planning and Engineering to the following 5 positions. We're talking about slots 0087, 0088, 0089, 0094, and 0017. We'd like to change the funding account from 1200 431 00122 0060 to 1200 431 00210 0020.
Move for approval.
Do you identify the funding?
Yes, sir. We will again.
But there was no funding identified previously.
Do you need to identify the
We have a
last
motion
one?
to approve. Need a second?
With the approval.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
That'll include the revised salary schedules after the actions taken to the county auditor's office.
Thank you
Yes.
very
Thank you,
much.
Ms. Cortez.
Item 10.
Is our district
Our
attorney's
DA's
office.
office.
Ms. Cortez. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen.
Juvenile Drug Court Program, requesting approval of resolution and approval to ratify the grant application for the Juvenile Drug Court Program from the Criminal Justice Division of the Governor's Office.
Judge, a couple of comments or...
The judge, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know who's in charge now. Commissioner, a couple of comments on this one. The resolution was not attached, and also this grant application is a ratification of application that was made by the District Attorney's Office. Funding has not been, it requires a cash match, so funding is not, has not been identified yet.
Does you know anything about it?
Sergio.
You know anything about this?
Judge Commissioners, basically, as far as for the cash match for this grant, we would identify the funds from our contingency account. Again, if they are awarded, at that point, we would transfer the funds via transfer out to the grant fund at that time.
You're recommending the approval then?
We would recommend approval of this action, yes, sir.
Okay, move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 10B.
10B, Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Program Grant, requesting approval of resolution and approval to ratify the grant application for the Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Program from the Criminal Justice Division of the Governor's Office.
The same comment on this one regarding funding. There's no funding identified yet.
This would be the same instance. Again, the federal award that we would have is $126,000. The cash match for this would be $31,700. We would recommend again that we reserve this from the contingency account and transfer those funds to the grant fund upon award of the grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
11A. Sheriff's Office.
Hello, Commissioners. Richard Ozuna, Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County, on behalf of our Sheriff, Eddie Guerra. 11A is requesting authorization and approval to apply for the 2015 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, the SCAP, with the Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Justice Programs, U.S. Department of Justice.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B, requesting consideration and approval on the acceptance of the donation of one male shepherd dog to the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office by Francisco Guerrero. This canine will be used for law enforcement functions, but upon the canine's retirement, separation, and/or impending medical conditions, if so, the canine will be returned to the donee, or Mr. Francisco Guerrero.
Move for
I
approval.
don't know if that is proper, because we have to ask the attorney. Because what he has said in the past is that when you receive a donation, you cannot receive it with a condition. And the way that I see it is a condition upon retirement of the dog, you have to give it back.
We'd sure hate to give away a dog to anybody that's fully trained to locate narcotics. That would really be a big blow to the citizens of Hidalgo County.
I understand that, but I think in the past, Mr. Crane has opined that you cannot accept
See
a
that thing
donation
on
conditional.
TV where after 5 years the dog was united with the Marine and this and that?
No, and then at the time, then you come in and then you're, like he explained, the best person to give it back to the guy that gave it to us. But again, that is just what the legal counsel has opined in the past.
Yeah. Well, there's exceptions as long as it serves a public purpose, as long as the court sees it fit. They can approve that, sir.
Yeah, no, the donation acceptance is not an issue. It's the conditional acceptance. I don't know. There's an attorney right behind you. I don't know, maybe he can opine on that.
Victor,
go ahead.
I don't know if it's necessarily a condition, as Mr. Ofracio may be looking at it. The condition is used for law enforcement purposes, which in effect serves as the public purpose which you have a right to make a determination of. So I understand Mr. Ofracio's comments, but it's hardly a condition if it's going to be benefiting law enforcement public purpose.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
13A, Health and Human Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. I have 13A, requesting approval to submit grant application to renew the Infectious Disease Control Unit program in the amount of $73,450 for a period of September 1, 2015 through August 31st, 2016. This is for an epidemiologist position that we have as a grant, sir, and this is a tremendously needed position.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval to accept the Health Promotions and Chronic Disease Prevention Contract Amendment, of 2015-047239-00A. The purpose of this amendment is to change the statement of work to read, contractor will submit monthly reports as directed by Department of State Health Services. The amendment is effective March 17, 2015. This is required by the state.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 13C, pursuant to Chapter 121, Local Public Health, Recognition Act, Section 121.006, requesting approval of sliding fee schedule effective March 17, 2015. The sliding fee schedule schedules have been revised based on federal poverty levels. This is a new federal guideline, and we go through these periodically to upgrade the federal guidelines that we use for indigent care and some of our clinic services.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
This next item is a real interesting item, sir. This is the change of times. Requesting approval of a data use agreement between Texas Health and Human Services Enterprise and Hidalgo County Health Department. The purpose of this agreement is to facilitate the creation, receipts, maintenance, and use of disclosure access to confidential information and describe rights and obligations with respect to confidential information and limited purpose for which the contractor may create, receive, maintain, and use disclosures or have access to confidential information. Let me explain this. This is very, very important to this county. What this means is the times have changed with internet and total digital access. What this means is that the federal government, it's not going to only happen to us. WIC is involved. We're involved. Soon you'll see the sheriff's office involved and others involved. Any federal monies that come to the county and data exchange that takes place between us and the federal government and state government that's transmitted through internet or any digital means, you have to have this data use agreement in place. We've had our legal counsel, Ms. Ramirez, has looked at it. I'm not sure. I think she stepped to the back. She is in agreement with the current direction. But I would like to recommend that, in addition, if this item is approved, that the county really consider procuring cyber insurance. That's just a trend. That's a whole new thing. We've never had to deal with it. But considering the recent situations across the world dealing with hacking and different issues, I think this is something that needs to be considered for the future as a recommendation. But this item is just being brought forth now. And you'll see it come up by other departments in the future.
So, there's the IT department director that maybe... Are you looking into it? Okay.
Yeah. But it's just, this is a new thing. The times are changing. So request action to approve this data use agreement.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 13E is requesting approval of certification of revenue by county auditor in the amount of $81,512.85. Funds are from the Health and Human Services Commission, Medicaid Administrative claiming reimbursement. And 2 is requesting approval of the appropriate MAC budget in the amount of $81,512.85.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So I need to acknowledge Mike Escanamen and his team have done a wonderful job in getting these revenues into the county, into our coffers. Item 13F is requesting approval to notify Texas Department of State Health Services to the end of the CPS Hazards Grant Contract 215-001134-01 on June 30th, 2015. The purpose is to initiate debundling of state contracts to commence a new grant contract with federal programs fiscal year of July 1st, 2015. We're going to end one contract, start another one the next day. So we got to debundle them.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item G, sir, is for clarification and purposes of action taken by Commissioners Court on October 14th, 2014. Item number A1-46739 to include additional furnishings and equipment conveyed by Texas Department of State Health Services for the John Austin Peña Center. We've added some other equipment on there for a total of, there was a little bit over $8,000 worth of equipment that was added to our inventory list for a grand total of $195,608 worth of equipment and furnishings that we were able to obtain through our funding sources and not through general funds. So we just saved the county about $200,000 there.
Need action on that?
Move for approval.
Second.
Great job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Good job.
Thank you, sir. On item H, requesting approval of memorandum of understanding between Remote Area Medical and the County of Hidalgo County Remote Area Medical in the conjunction with Operation Lone Star will provide free expanded medical service to the residents of Hidalgo County. RAM, or Remote Area Medical, is the one that provides free dental services to our residents during Operation Lone Star, and it'll be at Palmview High School in La Jolla, and at PSJA High School at PSJA School District. Last year, they gave over $500,000 of free services to our residents in our county. So just an agreement they could be here for Operation Lone Star.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item I, Health Funding District, there is no action unless there's any questions on item I-1. Item J1, discussion and action including but not limited to indigent healthcare program 1115 waiver and expenditures. There's no questions, there's no action there. However, under item 2 is approval to pay Safeguard Universal LLC an invoice 25621 in the amount of $1,450, PO number 719506. This is what we use to buy the collaterals and some of the things we use for our wellness program for our county employees.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
14, Emergency Management.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ricardo Saldaña, Emergency Management Coordinator, County Judge's Office. Presentation, discussion, authorizing Ricardo Saldaña, Hidalgo County Emergency Management Coordinator, to sign any and all documents related to the 800 megahertz transition process of the county radio system as required by the FCC.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 2, presentation, discussion, authorization to submit a written notice of the change to Motorola Solutions and Spirit Nextel of Texas.
Move for approval. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 15, IT Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. Small item, 15A, requesting authorization approval to purchase wireless device as attached in the grid below for the District Attorney's Office.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
Number 16, Urban County.
Deanna.
Llano Serna.
Good morning.
Morning.
Our first item on the agenda is a request on behalf of the City of Mercedes requesting the authority to purchase furniture for their Dr. Hector P. Garcia Memorial Library. The amount of the purchase would be $15,374.59 from the Harris County Department of Education ACDC Choice Partners awarded vendor.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is also a request on behalf of the City of Mercedes requesting authority to purchase equipment for the Mercedes Recreational Center. The purchase will be made from CDW-G, a contract with NJPA 100614 Technology. The amount of the purchase is $11,699.84, and as I indicated, it's for the recreational center.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is a request on behalf of the City of Westaco requesting authority to purchase 5 seat lounge sofas for the public library. The purchase will be made from Gateway Printing and Office Supply, TXMAS contract number 11-71050 in the amount of $5,393.90. This will be used with the public facility line item. Public service line item.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Urban County.
15B.
Okay. Item D is on behalf of the City of Mercedes requesting authority to purchase 30 computers for the Mercedes Recreational Center. Purchase will be made from the Dell contract number DIR SDD-1951, an approved vendor through Hidalgo County's membership and participation with the Department of Information Resources. The amount of this purchase is $24,277.50.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item E is requesting authorization to amend the subrecipient agreement with Mujeres Unidas under the Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, Program Year 2014. The amendment will not change the current budget, but will delete the line item identified as rapid rehousing and will allow Mujeres Unidas to serve more participants through their facility operations budget.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F is another request from the City of Mercedes requesting approval for the purchase and shipping of 2 commercial-grade arcade consoles for the recreational center. The amount of the purchase would be $5,399.98, and this would be from Game Room Champ Store.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item G is requesting authority to purchase computer equipment through Hidalgo County's membership and participation with DIR Department of Information Resources, approved vendor Dell Marketing, LP, in the amount of $31,446.48. This will be for the Penitas Library.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Our final request is for the City of Penitas requesting consideration and action to approve a purchase order to 2GS LLC in the amount of $24,448 for a street improvement project utilizing the Urban County 2012 funding.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 17, our auditor.
Judge, I'm requesting approval to submit the tobacco settlement report to the Department of State Health Services at the state. And also requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the report.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 18, our planning. Mr. Arredondo.
TJ. Finally outside.
Well, let's move on to item 19, precinct 2.
Mandu.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Yes, sir.
Item number 19A, 1, approval of amendment number 1 to interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1 and Hidalgo County. This is for the LJ drain that you all discussed during the drainage district.
19A for precinct 2, the agreement contains the wrong year. I don't know if it's been corrected, Armando, or no?
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
already been done and submitted.
And also the other comment was regarding legal counsel review and approval of the agreement was not documented. So I guess you reviewed it, Steve?
We drafted it.
You drafted it? Okay.
But you just have the minutes of the court reflect that, and we'll be okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, approval of closing documents for sale of certain real property known as LJ Drain and authority for the county judge to execute the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 19B, requesting approval to accept counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as parcel 15A for the precinct 2 FM 2061 Jackson Road. This is our text project on McCall Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, move back to item 18, our planning. Mr. Arredondo.
It's 106,000.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record. We are recommending final approval for Sunflower Garden subdivision in precinct 4. It's a 69-lot, single-family subdivision.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 20, precinct 3.
Judge, this is the interlocal between Hidalgo County and Palmview on Veterans Boulevard, which is from Abram Road to to Lahoma on 495. But I believe the auditor's got a concern on this.
Well, I have a couple of comments, well, 3 comments. One is the agreement reads that the city is going to provide not to exceed amount, and the question is, what would happen if the actual costs are lower than that amount? Is that one of those where they're just going to give you a dollar amount and then they're going to
Well,
ask for anything back?
I'm pretty sure that they owe us 106,000 from the previous account bill, but that was the previous administration. I'm going to talk to them, and we're working a deal trying to get that compensated, of course. And what they're going to do now, this is going to be the actual cost on that. That's what I've got here.
Okay. And the other comment is on the previous balance that they have. They have $106,000. That is a balance that they.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm talking to the previous administration, trying to get that cleared for.
Okay. Also, Commissioner, the agenda item did not document the portion percent of the project within the county and the city. Normally, they provide a document that says this portion is within the county and this portion is within the city.
I believe that that's been handed in already, right, Steve?
Well, in this one, it really doesn't make a difference because the city's paying for everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to, there's no division between what's within the city and what's in the rural area. The city's paying for the whole thing.
The city's paying for everything?
Yeah.
Okay, the whole amount of the
right,
project?
On their part.
On their part.
On their part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we need to know what is included in the county.
We can approve it subject to
Subject,
that.
move for approval, subject to
Second.
percentage.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, and 2 is in accordance with the section 791.014 of Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement project regarding certain road improvements to Veterans Boulevard, SH 495 from Abram Road East to La Homa Road.
Motion
approved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Proceed 4.
We did 4 of that, now we go to B.
Paul, are you ready on yours?
I think we,
Judge, there's just
Precinct
one
4 on
small
B.
item, if I can get it out of the way, of item B. It's 21B, is requesting approval of payment to the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality in the amount of $52.31 for air emissions fees.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, we go back to that item number, I believe it was 9.
9A.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Well, we just came back to go over this section of the 23.1.22. Like I stated before, I had made a determination related to the implementation of enforcements and collections, including, and it serves the public the purpose to implement this program. I'll have my Chief Deputy Eva Mireles just go over every item that we have and tell you exactly what individual position would be doing extra, so she'll be telling you that.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. As stated before, Mr. Villarreal has stated that this is a new program that came into effect on October 1st of 2014. Under the Property Tax Code of Section 23.122 M and N, gives us the authority to enforce the collection of a fine and penalties. However, previous administration was not doing it due to the fact because we didn't have enough personnel for these additional duties. So instead of coming to Commissioner's Court and ask you for more positions to oversee and enforce the collections, the previous administration did not do that. This administration started on October the 1st of 2014 to start enforcing the fines from having the fraud investigator to going in there to monitor the compliance, going and issuing out citations to we have 768 accounts that dealing with special inventory that must comply with submitting their sales statement, whether they have sales or not. Therefore, Mr. Villarreal has assigned these 9 positions to have additional duties, from overseeing and managing the program for compliance to managing and setting internal controls for the program, enforcing the fines and penalties, to data programming and the auditing of the sales, and of course, as I mentioned before, the fraud department as far as investigation of the issuing out citations. Now, because we didn't have this before, now the tax office actually has to go through all the sales that come in, see who didn't submit timely, then from there actually have create an accounts receivable to create the $100 fine that's supposed to be deposited to the general fund, and the additional penalty that gets deposited to the special inventory fund. So again, these are additional duties that the tax office did not have or was doing before because of the lack of personnel. But now that we have some funds in there, that's why Mr. Villarreal is coming in here and assigning personnel with those additional duties.
Steve, did y'all have your powwow back there and everything's in order?
Yes, we did. I think the only thing we did not add is when this would be effective.
Probably effective next pay period.
I want to move for approval.
Judge, can we have a little discussion before you take a vote? Again, like I said earlier, I disagree with this here. The only question that remains, if you're going to approve it, is what would happen if they run out of these funds?
It'll go back.
They'll be notified, they'll be notified before, right?
Correct.
So it needs to be on the record.
Notify what? I mean, what's going to happen if they don't have any more interest left over to pay this pay raises?
I think people will be buying vehicles all the time, and I think we should be okay. But if it ever stops where we don't have those funds, then we'll automatically stop the.
Just be sure to notify them before,
Definitely.
So you will reduce the pay raise back to the normal amount?
Judge,
is that what you're saying?
Judge,
This is not a pay raise. I want to make that clear.
And
This
if I
is a supplement
if I may
only.
add, Commissioner, since we started implementing, our office has already generated over 40,000 to the general fund just in fines alone in a total of 5 months.
From what I understand, it's not going to be on your regular salary. It's going to be on
right, a supplement.
A supplement.
right?
But that's,
So it'll be a bonus or anything, supplementary bonus.
No, I don't think bonuses are not allowed, right, Steve?
Huh?
I don't think a bonus is allowed.
No, it's not allowed.
No, this is a supplement.
Okay, all right.
But I was just using figure speech.
So you're saying once they run out of money, then the supplement would be deleted? Is that what the...
Mr. Professor, we've had this issue with the Colonial Access Program, of which in all precincts we've had a personnel where they got a supplement to administer some of the duties of that program. As soon as that program was over, that salary was removed.
Okay. I just wanted to make...
The structure is going to be the
That's
same.
what's going to happen.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second to approve the item 9A. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Aye. For the reasons I stated, Paul, that I just don't think, I think they're very deserving of the raise, but we can't give it to all of them at this time, and I just don't think it's fair.
Well, thank you, Judge. I mean, we're going to work very hard to bring in more revenues. We're working very hard every day to contact our taxpayers, and we're going to bring revenues to the fines, to the general fund, and so we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, motion carries. All right, item 22.
We're going to take a no action on item 22A. Item 22B, requesting authorization to amend the Hidalgo County HIDA Task Force Citibank credit card account to reflect current HIDA agents. New agents will abide with the Hidalgo County HIDA Task Force credit card use policy as approved by Commissioners Court on 6/21/2011. The adjustments are as follows. Add the commander, add the assistant commander, add the criminal investigator, and add the criminal investigator. And those are for the new employees that have come in. And then, of course, delete the commander, the assistant commander, the criminal investigator, and criminal investigator. Those were previous employees.
It's just the same cards, but it's for different employees.
Yes.
For approval?
Second. Now, we spoke to HIDA, and they agreed that they were going to move this item to the next agenda, because we have a couple of concerns. One is regarding legal counsel review and approval of the that was not documented.
That's item C.
So they're saying they were going to move it for future.
No, it was item C.
Monday?
It was item C that we were going to move.
So
Items A and C were going to be moved.
Okay, 22A, no action, is that what you're saying?
No action.
Okay,
Item A
now you're...
is action B.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And no action on item C.
Thank you.
All right.
Morning, Judge Commissioner. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 23A1 is approval to issue check payable to the Texas Department of Transportation Trust Fund in the amount of $4,692.62. This is for the county's participation for the construction and construction engineering direct state costs as per the AFA for the CR 229 drainage ditch off system project.
Judge, some discussion on this item, 23A 1 and 2, funding for these payments is not in place. And also, normally the TxDOT provides to the county a statement of cost, and that document was not attached for review.
Well,
Judge
could
Commissioners, we've submitted the emergency transfer to cover the funding for these two projects, and we've also requested from TxDOT that statement of cost that the auditor is requesting. So we would recommend approval for items 23A1 and 2, subject to the funding and for receipt of that statement of cost.
Subject.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 23B1 is approval of 2015 appropriation of funds in the amount of $428,508.64. This is for Certificates of Obligation 2014, Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 23B2 is approval of 2015 appropriation of funds from the County Clerk's Record Management Fund in the amount of $430,230.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion, motion carries.
Item 23B3 is approval of 2015 appropriation of funds for the Tax Office Special Inventory Fund in the amount of $65,000.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item 23B4 is approval of 2015 appropriation of funds for various special revenue and internal service funds, and this is to fund various rollovers, PO rollovers.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Next item, purchasing 24A.
Yes, and just in case no one has mentioned it today, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
Nobody's wearing green except you.
Nobody's wearing green. You all get pinched. All right, starting with 24A. 1, this is requesting authorization and approval to purchase one new or newer 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe LS through our membership with the buy board vendor Country Caldwell Chevrolet, $35,665, which includes the $400 delivery and administration fee.
That is for what department?
I'm trying to. That one I did not note. I noted all the rest. I'm sorry, Commissioner. I will let you know in just a moment. Fire Marshal's office. Sorry.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2. This is presentation of sole vendor submitting the most responsible and lowest bid received as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained herein and meeting all specifications. This is for the request for bids for lease and or service of portable toilets. There were 4 packets requested, 1 bid received. That's and Ridge Incorporated DBA A Clean Portico. We recommend approval.
And that is probably for Ansel Dew's Park.
It's for anyone who needs
Move for approval. Second.
It's
Those in
countywide.
favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. This is item 3, pursuant to action taken by Commissioners Court on March 3rd, regular agenda. Item 48701 under Texas Local Government Code 381-004B6 and C1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements. Under 262-024A10, work performed under a contract for community and economic development made by a county. This is in conjunction with an item earlier taken up on the Hidalgo County's literacy program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of an agreement between Hidalgo County and VIDA for the administration of advanced career education, also known as the ACE initiative, for Hidalgo County's literacy program, subject to legal counsel's final review. And that is the DA's Office, Civil Division, the Honorable Victor Garza. This is for an amount of $250,000.
Move for approval.
So the document is already in place, Marty?
The document is in the county judge's hands. If there's any final tweaking,
Execution?
that'll be done subject to the DA's final approval before we get it executed.
And be attached to this.
And we will send it over to the county clerk, of course, and then we will scan it and archive it for viewing.
All right, we have a motion and I believe a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4 is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7A, not C, an item that can only be obtained from one source.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
B is requesting approval of a sole source declaration with CSS Technology Incorporated, DBA EN1 Road Bond Service Company for the provision of EN1 road stabilizer material for all users that may need it under all funding sources.
Move for approval.
And the sole source from the vendor would be...
The sole source has already been attached. We are receiving via fax the affidavit from the vendor. As soon as it's received, it'll be uploaded also. We need action.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item C is approval of the Hidalgo County elected officials, departments, programs, and/or agencies to purchase EN1 road stabilizer material with the company we just sole sourced.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation of the bids received as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained herein for the purpose of awarding to the responsible vendors submitting lowest and best bids and meeting all specifications and requirements, including the approval of the contracts. We sent out 9 packets. We've got 4 bids. The 2 recommended low bidders for limestone would be Frontera and for Valley Caliche for gravel.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 6 is ratification of fully executed change order number 7, increase of $9,182.20 in connection with repairs and renovations, first and second floors. And the details are already there as to what that $9,100 was for.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Under the constables for Precinct 1 Constable, items 1 and 2, requesting authorization and approval to purchase 3 new or newer 2015 Ford Police Interceptors through our membership and by boards awarded vendor, Silsby Ford, in the amount of $76,085.50. That's item 1.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval to purchase 3 new or newer Chevrolet 1500s 4x4 crew cabs, and that's through the by boards awarded vendor Caldwell Chevrolet Ford, and that's in the amount of $87,490. That's also for Precinct 1 Constable.
This has to
Move
be
for
at the
approval.
next agenda.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Items 3 and 4 for Constable Precinct 4. Approval to purchase 2 new or newer 2014 P1 sedans, Taurus, and 4 2015 Ford Explorers. The total amount is $145,822, and this is through Silsby Ford, and that is also a TASB by board vendor, which includes the administration fee of $400.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4, Constable Precinct 4, the purchase of 1 new or newer 2015 1500 Ram Quad Cab Tradesman through the by boards awarded vendor, which is Cowboy Motor Company, and that's through Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership in the amount of $27,178.08.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Under the Executive Office, item 1 for the Safety Division, approval to purchase 4 new or newer 2015 Ford F-150 extended cabs through the by boards awarded vendor Caldwell Chevrolet Ford dealerships, $87,244.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
D, County Judge's Office. This is requesting authorization and approval to purchase 1 new or newer 2015 Ford Expedition through the county's membership and participation with Caldwell Country Chevrolet Ford contract, $29,101.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
E1 for Precinct 1, approval of the First Amendment to the current construction contract between Hidalgo County and 2GS LLC for the provision of additional construction services for the paving, Sioux Road paving and drainage improvements project, Tower Road to Valverde.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
F1, Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute the final form of professional engineering agreement, subject to legal counsel's review, with L&G on-call services for road and bridge, CIP, and other projects for Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Judge, there's no funding in place identified for this.
Subject to funding.
Subject to funding.
I think budget was going to address that issue. I do not have that information.
We just approve subject to funding.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $375,918. This is with L&G for the feasibility study on East Eldora Road, West Eldora Road, Sioux Road, overpass at US 83, 2nd Street, Cesar Chavez Roads.
Move for approval.
Second.
These are all state projects, right?
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is presentation of the scoring grid of the 3 firms that were evaluated and scored. Those would be Earth Company 88, PSI Engineering at 90, and L&G at 93. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for
Move
approval.
for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Authority for purchasing to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm of L&G.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code chapters sections 263, 152, 151-2B, C, D, and 263, 152A2, action to declare 6 tractor mower units surplus for the purposes of use as trade-ins toward the acquisition of new units.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is requesting authority to purchase 3 tractors as detailed in the supporting documentation through John Deere's awarded vendor through the participation with the TASB buy board contract. That's 3 JD 5065s at $94,262 and 3 JD MX7s with the amount of $10,827.30, less the trade-in value of the 6 units at $52,500 for the final total cost of $52,589.94.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4 is requesting acceptance and approval of work authorization 2 with an estimated cost of $170,237.76 as submitted by L&G under the contract number 146 to provide complete right-of-way and parcel descriptions for the need of the right-of-way acquisition along the proposed Precinct 2 Regional Hike and Bike Trail.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
G1 for Precinct 4, ratification and approval. Declaring that AIA Form of Agreement Article 9.10.2, Items 2, 3, and 5 in relation to the maintenance of insurance by general contractor until final payments becomes a moot point as the county occupied and insured the building for the project known as Building Repairs, Renovations, Additions, and Alterations to Restitution Center at 1124 M Road in Edinburgh, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval of a professional architectural on-call services agreement with Mata Garcia Architects for the purposes of repairs, renovations, remodelings, additions, alterations, and/or building review assessments and related services on a per project on an as-needed basis, and that would then result in individual AIA contracts for every project that they are assigned.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under H1, this is Health and Human Services Department, acceptance of the scoring and evaluation grid for the purposes of Commissioners Court to declare as qualified both responses received for the RFQ of substance abuse treatment and primary care services for adolescents. There were 6 packets sent out. 2 sole packets were received. A, University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, University of Texas Health Science Center at San Antonio. That's the focus on primary care. And 2, University of Texas Pan American on the focus of education. We need action.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That will result in, as I said on the last line, to proceed to the negotiation phase for these contracts. Item 2 is acceptance and approval of the substitution of awarded vendor Quest Diagnostics Incorporated self-insured umbrella policy in lieu of general liability insurance as compliant with Hidalgo County's Exhibit C for laboratory services so as to get legal's approval and contract documents and proceed with executing them.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye. 24I for the WIC program. Requesting exemption. A is for under 262-024A.
Excuse me, Marty, just a minute. Steve, on that umbrella policy, it says self-funded umbrella policy. What are we doing here?
Well, no, it's the general liability has an SIR, and then the umbrella policy is the insurance that covers the general liability once they extinguish their SIR.
We had not been able to execute the agreement until we were satisfied that our Exhibit C would be compliant under this provision that they provided us. So that turned out to be something that legal counsel accepted.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
24I for the WIC program exemption from competitive bidding requirements. 262-024A7A items which competition is precluded because of existence of patents, copyright, secret processes, or monopolies. We need action.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B is approval of a sole source declaration for Mobile Lactation Consultant DBA Daily Enterprises for the purchase and access of database and software sold and distributed exclusively by Daily for the WIC program and other applicable county departments and agencies to include all funding sources.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item J1 is requesting approval of an on-call professional surveying services agreement with Quintanilla Headley and Associates for surveying services for Hidalgo County-owned properties located within, of course, the county.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
2 is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking the responses received, graded, and evaluated in connection with RFQ number 001, which is workers' compensation loss and funding projection studies, in order to proceed to the next phase of the negotiation portion of the procurement process. There were 6 firms, 3 evaluators. You see the scores, the averages, which is AMI is your highest scored vendor at 96.6, Lewis and Ellis at 90.3, Madison Consulting at 90, Oliver Wayne Actuarial at 84, Rudd and Wisdom at 78.3, and IBC Insurance Buyers Council at 73.6. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second with a comment. Who were the graders for this?
You had Ms. Flora from Benefits. The second one was the auditor's office, Ms. Linda Fong, and the third one, it escapes me, but there was one more.
Okay.
Just wondering. AMI Risk are who?
Consultants.
Who
are they?
Yes, who are the principals or where are they from?
I can look it up, but I don't know where they're from.
Well, that's okay, Marty. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Requesting authority for purchasing to enter into negotiations commencing with the number 1 ranked firm of AMI Risk Consultants Incorporated.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Colonia Access Program, on item K1, requesting approval of work authorization 1 for contract number 397 with Millennium Engineering Group with a proposed fee of $21,278.74, and this is for round 3 Border Colonia Access Program
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is the approval of work authorization 2 with Millennium in the proposed fee of $3,408.75 to provide construction materials testing services for Lorenzana subdivision under round 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Sheriff's Department L1 requesting approval to purchase the following vehicles through the county's membership and participation with five boards awarded vendors: Caldwell, Chevrolet, Ford, contract number 430, in the total amount of $2,722,241, and as listed on the agenda, A through G. This does include the one-time $400 administration fee.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, requesting approval to purchase one 2016 Ford Explorer through the county's membership and participation with buy boards awarded contractor Caldwell at the amount of $24,436. Also Sheriff's Department.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item M is under County Clerk. A, pursuant to Code of Criminal Procedures 103-0031, collections contract, action to revert to the original scoring criteria and values of the Hidalgo County's RFP number 041, law firm to collect Hidalgo County delinquent judicial and JP court fees and fines on a phased basis.
What do you mean by reverting?
Well, the DA's office has sent word to Mr. Guerra that under the code, the actual fee assessed is fixed at 30%. Thus, assessing points for the fee is not applicable here. So it would revert back to that scoring grid, and I did attach it, where the firm qualifications are at 25, collection procedures are at 25, collection notices 10, management reports 25, computer network is 15. And computer network would be that they would describe the type of network they have and its compatibility with the county to transfer the information. So this would be done on the basis of demonstrated competence, experience, and qualifications. And does the proposal give the county the services required? Which one of your firms, and I believe there's been about 6 that have requested packets. We did also send out an addendum, which I have as item B, extending the date, as I had told the court, because there's still information that needs to be provided that we don't have yet, data. So,
is there any objective criteria you can think of?
Objective?
Yes.
RFP, the
something
nature
that would
of,
not be subjective to keep it from being a popularity contest.
Judge, by its nature, an RFP is subjective, but it is against the criteria that is presented. I mean, you have a set of services that the county is being very, very deliberate that they need. You are now going to ask these firms to tell you what is their experience doing this work, what is their qualifications, do they have enough employees dedicated, their collection methods, does it meet with what the county needs in the saturation and the outreach to the people who owe the county money. All those factors have a value, and they're going to have to be considered against what's presented to the county in their response. You and I had a conversation yesterday. That is why I think Mr. Guajardo had suggested that perhaps part of the grading team be somebody who's involved in that daily collection. But you and I had that conversation yesterday.
Are they going to be able to accept payment plans?
Yes, there is the ability to accept payment plans.
Okay. I don't think we have much of a
We
choice.
don't. Also, another concern you had, we don't have any wording in there that would cost the county money. In other words, this is all on the shoulder of the person who owes the county the money. A person who owes county money and perhaps gets his that money due dismissed does not automatically transfer the fee to the county to pay. This is based on, we've eliminated that because of the concern you had on the previous contract, which is expired, which left the county owing the company if in the end of the day that case was not eligible as a delinquent case.
So you're telling me that we cannot go out for an RFP on a proposal for fee, that the fee is set at 30%?
Yes, that is what the district attorney's office is telling us. And as I had it reported to you, in every contract we researched, they're all at 30. And in most of the RFPs that we looked at, there was no points for fees.
Commissioner, I just wanted to point out, if the Commissioner's Court chooses to enter into a contract with a private entity, under the provision of the Code of Criminal Procedure, you're authorizing the collection of that additional 30% fee. So that's the fee that's set by statute. And so the only recommendation that we gave the purchasing department was that the county track the language in the statute with whatever we decide to do with this contract.
I have a question. Have we sent anything out ourselves? Have we been proactive, or are we just waiting to hire a company to?
They sent out those, they got a lot of publicity, those yellows. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the second step?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually the third step.
Yeah, it's the uncollectible. the
Yes,
harder ones.
this is in connection. You see,
Got it.
at the end of the day, we have so many parallel initiatives going on that it's the county who finally decides what accounts are turned over. We're in total control. If it's only 100 accounts, because those are the oldest ones we could find, and let somebody go at it, fine. Some of the RFP, I will tell you this, some of the packets that have been requested are not legal firms.
Who has the discretion to work with the taxpayer or the violator on how much they pay and how they pay it and so forth? Because a lot of the calls that I've been getting, it's always the poor people that it seems like are affected by these.
Mm-hmm. It would be the company you turn this account over to. They can implement a payment plan. They will work with that individual.
And they have, I mean, I'm not saying this is necessary, but they have the power to dismiss these?
No.
I didn't think so.
We're talking about those cases in which the subject has come up and there's still research being done by the DA's office. County clerk, you're pretty well set. None of those delinquent cases that are turned over to a company, if you choose to go this route and award it, once that fee is owed, it's owed. A judicial court does not have...
There's no statute of limitation? Is that what
There
you
are
said?
statutes of limitation too, which the DA's office has also addressed. But those who are eligible, that are...
And so we're dismissing the cases that are outside the statute of limitation?
That are eligible, yes, for collection. Correct. And those judges cannot dismiss a case. Now, it's on the JP side that it becomes much more complicated to what you're alluding to. No, but the company itself does not have the power to dismiss a case. No.
Commissioner, that's an issue that we're working on with the JPs. They cannot outright dismiss a case without the approval or without the agreement of the district attorney's office. And so that is something that we're doing. Eric Schreiber is the DA that oversees all of the JP cases, and so he's working on that with them.
Right.
Well, just one, sorry, Judge.
Go ahead.
It's because, I mean, I've seen some stuff being, did you hear about the sheriff that had to go possibly pick somebody up in San Antonio on a case that was 15 years old? I mean, we have to have a better process of eliminating the cases that are way outside the statute of limitation because of the cost. We're going to bring that guy back. It's going to be dismissed, right, because it's 15 years old. So we can look at that process before we send out some of these letters.
That's why it's being done on a phased basis, because your county clerk are the ones that are most ready and eligible for turnover. That's why the JP cases will be phased in later at the end of the summer.
After how long do they go to collection from the county clerk's office?
Well, the statute says 120 days, but some of them are 180 days. Some of them can be 2 years old. The county clerk will make its efforts to collect as much as...
I think they collected
I'm sorry. The statute's at 60. We wait 120. 60. And as the county clerk's office was telling me, sometimes it's 180. Sometimes it's more than that, because they themselves will make every effort to collect first. So these are those hard cases that you don't want to spend valuable employee resource time on that are just not being collected.
Yeah, because I know that the county clerk has collected probably over $4 million in the past. I think they've done a good job on it.
They did have 2 mailings when they first had the last contract in 2007 with Raywood and Bonilla. And they did have some success. But like I tell you, that's why the county clerks would be first, because those are in a position to actually be worked on. While the JPs, as she said, those efforts are being done as we speak.
correct. The only other issue I was going to advise you of is that we have a new system that's going to be tracking all of the criminal cases, the Odyssey system, and so Renan, our IT coordinator, has advised that come August, when it goes live, we'll be ready to extract the cases that we can from there and send them out. So that's why it's going to be done in a two-phase part.
Another thing is a lot of counties that do this have been in it for a long time. We as a county have slowly, as I told you, Commissioner Cantu, we've now initiated so many different programs going toward collections internally that this is now really coming to those balances that are due the county, that we don't want to exercise so much time and effort when we can be doing the daily collections. But it's going to be up to the elected official to hand over the cases that are truly in need of collecting.
All right.
And we need action on A.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is, we did add to your backup the addendum 1 that we issued. There were some minor corrections, and we rescheduled the acceptance date from Wednesday, March 11th to April 1st to permit the gathering of that information that we said we needed in order to submit to those vendors that have requested packets.
Need action on it?
Yes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
This time pursuant to 551-071 and 072, we need a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's 11:57. We're going to be in executive session. Dice que me lo dieron hace como 4 años.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Open session, 26A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same. There's no action to be taken. Pending and or potential litigation, 26B, there is no action to be taken today. 26C, Maricela de Leon versus Hidalgo County. Again, there will be no action taken today on this issue. 26D, claim of Wayne Fairs. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $550.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
26E, claim of Annabelle Martinez. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,259.10.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, there's no need to go back into close or open, so we have item 29 adjourned.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep.
When is our next meeting, Buddy?